Smosh is a popular YouTube channel that currently has over 25 million subscribers. Its origins go all the way back to 2002, where high school student Anthony Padilla made a website called Smosh.com. It started as a place for Anthony and his friends to get together and hang out. However, over time, the website gained more and more popularity across his high school and the entire internet. Anthony posted a couple of videos on the website of him and his friend Ian Heacock's lip-syncing. However, since Anthony owned the website, he had to pay for the bandwidth himself, meaning the more views his videos got, the more he had to pay out of his own pocket. One day he noticed that somebody that he didn't know uploaded their Mortal Kombat lip-syncing video to a website called YouTube. That gave Anthony and Ian their idea to create their very own YouTube account. Thus, the Smosh YouTube channel was born. Their first viral hit was them lip-syncing to the Pokemon theme song. That video gained over 24 million views, and at one point was the most viewed video on YouTube of all time. It unfortunately was eventually removed due to copyright, but that did not slow them down from pursuing YouTube. From there, the two made comedy sketch after comedy sketch after comedy sketch for years and years. At 3 different points, they were even the most subscribed to channel on all of YouTube. Their quality kept improving and they weren't afraid to try new things as they grew bigger and bigger. As time went on, they naturally branched out with more YouTube channels and new cast members. What started as 2 kids goofing around online turned into a giant company with a big production team. However, behind the scenes, things weren't going as smoothly as it seemed. In 2011, Smosh was acquired by a company known as Alloy Digital, later rebranded as Defy Media. Many Smosh members talked about how Defy gave them opportunities to do stuff that they wouldn't normally have been able to do, and they did help the channel grow.
Yeah, I mean, I got to give them credit. Like, we were able to do a lot of stuff, and we were able to use a lot of resources.
Yeah, we had good resources.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I can't completely dump on Defy.
Totally.
Like, they got us to where we were at. We just needed better leadership, and we needed a company that was actually behind us.
But at the same time, they felt as though Defy was censoring and restricting a lot of their creative freedom.
I've for a long time wanted to be more creatively involved and not just writing and being in the videos. Like, I had all these ideas all the time, and so I would go to somebody at Defy and be like, I have this idea, say it was a show or merch or whatever, and they would go, cute, okay, go back to get your makeup for the video, bye-bye.
Anthony even mentioned how they were being paid unfairly.
That company was drawing in millions of dollars every year, and I was seeing a fraction of that. I have no idea where all that money went that the company was making, which I also just read had millions of dollars invested into it last year.
Because of these reasons, Anthony left Smosh in 2017. Only a year later, Defy Media essentially went bankrupt and abruptly shut down. After some worry for the future of Smosh, Rhett and Link's company, Mythical, became Smosh's new parent company. The members of Smosh were now given more creative freedom than ever before, and to this day, they're still doing what they do best: comedy.
Anthony, get on my back, we'll do a double-decker twerk.
Is that what y'all did?
Along with their YouTube empire, Smosh periodically released other forms of media like mobile apps, video games, magazines, a comic, and even movies. But today, I just want to focus on their mobile apps and video games. Their first mobile app was actually sponsored by Google back in 2010.
I call it the Shut Up app. Say something to the phone.
Like what?
Shut up!
Whoa, it's...
Shut up! You see, every time you say something to the phone, it tells you to shut up. And I'm selling it for $1.
Yep, that's it. It was a mobile app that sold for $1 that would yell "shut up" at you whenever you spoke to it. If you didn't know, for the longest time, all of their videos would open with a different shut up gag.
Yeah, right, I win! I'm the winner! Shut up!
This was a truly revolutionary app. Too bad it's no longer available for download. Their second app and first mobile game was called Super Headsploders X.
So, what are you doing over there?
Oh, I'm just playing Super Head Exploder X. It's this game where you get to explode people's heads. Right now, I'm actually exploding my mom's head for setting me up with this stupid therapy session.
It was released in February 2013 for the Apple App Store. It's a game where you play as Ian, or more specifically, Ian's character Billy. You just float through the air while dodging and shooting at all the obstacles, collecting coins and power-ups. The main gimmick here was that you could take a picture of yourself, your friends, or really anyone or anything, and you could shoot them. There's also a bunch of Smosh references in here, of course. There were 5 levels in total with a survival mode. In In 2016, it also released on Android devices with updated graphics and reworked stages. But unfortunately, it's no longer available for download. If you want to see more of this game, check out the videos they made on Smosh Games. It is full of 2013 chaotic Let's Play energy. They even set a grape on fire. Later in 2013, they also started their campaign for Food Battle the game. But before I talk about that, first I'll tell you about the official Smosh app released in February 2014. All it was a hub where you could watch all kinds of Smosh content in one handy app. And of course, it no longer exists. It was kind of cool, I guess. I had it myself, but that's pretty much it. There's not much else to it. Alright, back to Food Battle. Food Battle was a very popular annual Smosh series that ran for over 10 years. The premise was that Ian and Anthony would compete to see whose favorite food could do more everyday tasks. The series was beloved and had many running gags, like how Ian's favorite food was always the pink frosted sprinkled donuts, while Anthony's favorite food was always changing, but it always happened to be a phallic shaped food, aside from the last Food Battle where it was a vegan pink frosted sprinkled donuts. In Food Battle 2009, one of the gags was to see if their food could be a video game.
Come on, Burrito, let's play Donut Massacre 64! Die, donuts! Yeah!
That Donut 64 gag gave them their first inspiration for what would later become Food Battle the game. Fun fact, I used to have the poster of Donut Massacre 64. These are the only two pictures I could find of it. Also in 2012, I tweeted at them saying that I want a Food Battle video for their next upload. They replied saying too bad, and I was so excited they replied to me that I even posted that screenshot on Facebook. So now that you understand my credentials as a Food Battle expert, let's begin. In 2013, they started a fundraiser for the game on Indiegogo. Their goal was to raise $250,000. At the time, there was a bit of controversy surrounding their asking price, with people saying it was way more than they needed. On the Indiegogo, a bunch of perks were available, like Ian's naked drawing of Anthony, and Anthony's naked drawing of Ian. I could not find either of these pictures online, so if you happen to have a copy of either one of them, please send them to me on Twitter so I can, use them for more research purposes. When they only had $56,000 left to raise, they had a 7-hour live stream to help finish raising the money.
How's it going? This is the sexiest pose I've ever been in on a couch with another man.
You gotta stop now. Okay, sorry.
Here they added even more perks, like selling Ian and Anthony's shoes, belt, shirts, and for them to twerk for 2 minutes straight. Wow, 2013 Smosh fans sure were lucky. Given their fabulous live stream and amazing perks, it is no surprise that soon after that stream, they managed to reach their goal.
We did it! Guys! We actually did it, guys!
Yeah!
You are amazing! Oh my god, I can't even believe we actually did it.
I never had any doubts.
Ian was just so confident. He's just the most confident guy in the world.
A couple weeks ago, Anthony went on the Trash Taste podcast, and he actually talked about how Defy handled the fundraiser and Food Battle the game in general. Here's what he had to say.
There was a fundraiser that they put on. It was for a game.
Yeah.
And they had just seen the success of other people who had done fundraisers for games, Indiegogo, GoFundMe type things.
Yeah.
And they raised like $250,000 for like these games, which were like mobile games, but you could play it on the computer. And it was like this really cool thing with all these inside jokes from the community.
Right.
And they said, "Oh, that's cool, guys. You do that." And then we were like, "We don't have a concept for a game." They're like, "We'll figure it out later. You just raise some money."
They just made the fundraiser, and then they were, afterwards they were like, make the game.
And we said, we need to have something to pitch to people.
Yeah.
We need, and then they're like, cool, we'll just tell them the idea then. And then they're like, you come up with the idea. So I came up with the idea. Ian, of course, also. We both came up with the idea. And they were like, cool, you got the idea. Let's do it. And I was like, we need to have concept art. We need to like show a build of the game. We need to be able to show what we want to do with this thing. And they're like, we don't have time. Okay, we'll get concept art. So all we were able to do was launch with this concept art.
Wow. Oh my God.
And launching a campaign, asking people, incentivizing your fans to give you money. Well, that did not, it did not feel right to me, but I felt backed up into a corner.
So anyway, over a year after the campaign had reached its goal, in November 2014, the game was finally released for free on Android and iOS. I wish I had played the game, but unfortunately I never did when it came out. And on August 4th, 2017, the developers updated the Indiegogo one last time. There they announced its removal from all app stores. I'm still of course going to show it off the best I can, but I gotta say this game was not very well documented at all. Most of the videos I found were like this.
Hey guys, Super, it's just here and I'm going to be telling you about the new section I'm going to have on my channel called Games.
And unfortunately I could not find a video nor description of the full plot. The game's wiki has a full list of the characters, locations, and weapons, but not the story. There's 30 levels in the game in total. However, I was only able to find levels 1 through 13, 17 through 19, 26, and 28 through 30. I'm not sure why this person only uploaded these levels, but hey, I'm not complaining, I'll take what I can get. I'll be linking the videos I watched to put this video together in the description. Definitely go show them some love, as without them there'd be almost nothing about this game online. So obviously I won't be able to show you the full game, but I'll be able to paint a good picture of what the game is like. Here's the opening cutscene.
Shut up! A while back, everything was going tickety-boo here in the village of Tickpot. But then suddenly an evil horde of mutant donuts attacked. Anthony tried to help, but he was knocked out like a little when they kidnapped our friends. Fortunately, Ian sent the bastards packing when he opened up a huge-ass can of whoop-ass. Or at least that's what they tell me. I don't know, I was f***ing sozzled.
So if you're not familiar with your Smosh characters, or it's just been a while, let me help you out. The intro is narrated by Charlie the Drunk Guinea Pig. Charlie was a recurring British and constantly drunk guinea pig character. He even had his own YouTube channel that ran for just over a year. He was also Ian's real-life guinea pig. There's Teleporting Fat Guy, who's just from an old Smosh video.
Well, I'm the teleporting fat guy.
Yeah, that's essentially the entire thing. He also had his own cartoon show over on Shut Up Cartoons. Shut Up Cartoons being Smosh's cartoon channel. It ran for over 2 years and I would love to tell you more about it, but I never watched it myself. There's Ian's mom, who was a reoccurring character, and Ian's real-life mother. There's Stevie, who is another reoccurring character. He is meant to be the annoying and dumb character in most sketches. Stevie was actually a character who fans voted into the game. At the time, I was confused as to how he won the most votes, because even then, I found him annoying. But for better or for worse, he's in the game. In level 2, they even poke fun at the fact that he made it in to begin with. There's of course Ian and Anthony and Girl, who I assume is either just a random girl or a girl from the Indiegogo. After the cutscene, Charlie basically recaps what just happened with Anthony. Anthony then sets out on a quest to rescue his captured friends. With the help of Teleporting Fat Guy, of course. Teleporting Fat Guy's only role that I know of is teleporting you in and out of levels. Now you can officially start the game. It's a 3D single-player action-adventure game. At the start, there's a guy who says that donuts molested him, which I feel like is a joke you wouldn't see nowadays. There's a few donuts you kill along the way, stars and a chest to collect, you press a button to open a path, and at the end you free Ian's mom and teleport back to the hub world, Tickpot. You move around by dragging where you want to go, and you presumably attack by tapping on the enemies and objects. As you can see, you start off the game with a celery weapon, celery being Anthony's second favorite food from Food Battle 2007. You can also dash by swiping fast. You can break objects in the environment that give you coins, health, and ingredients. The same stuff can be found in chests. In each level, there's 3 stars you can collect. Some are hidden in cages, usually behind some puzzle or obstacle, and some can be found from killing enemies. After the first level, when you get back to the hub world, it's explained that Ian's mom can craft recipes with ingredients. Those recipes being new weapons and clothing. The clothing have their own perks, and the weapons add a bunch of variety to the game, allowing for unique playstyles. Plus, certain enemies are weak to certain weapons, and not to mention that the unique weapons are required to find a bunch of secrets. The celery weapon is the only one you can use freely. The rest have a refillable meter that empties the more you use it. Level 2 is also very short and more of the same. At the end, you free Stevie, and in the hub world, he's the microtransaction guy. You can buy ingredients from him and crystals. Crystals are the in-game currency that you mostly have to buy with real money. By the way, in a later update, Charlie becomes a shop that that only sells items for crystals. There's also pop-ups that appear periodically throughout the game that try to get you to buy things as if $250,000 wasn't already overpriced. But you know, whatever, Defy, get that bag before you go bankrupt. So anyway, this game is repetitive as hell. The first 10 levels all just blend together for me. Even the two bosses feel the same. Yes, their attack patterns are different, but they're just two giant donuts, which feels lazy. Level 11 introduced the next theme, that being a spooky forest instead of a normal one. There's also a swamp theme, a crystal cave, and a donut cave. Also, I don't know when or why he got here, but by at least level 11, the neighbor, a reoccurring Smosh character, is in the hub world now. He runs the challenge mode that we'll probably never be able to see. The puzzles throughout this entire game seem to be nothing but stepping on buttons and just using your other weapons on their respective obstacles. Like, oh, a post? Let me hammer it. Oh, a rock? Let me shoot it. From what I saw, there's really not much evolution here. These feel like very watered down and extremely simple Zelda puzzles. I don't think I'd even consider many of them real puzzles. The combat seems to work fine for what it is, but the enemies don't vary a ton. From what I could see, all the enemies are donuts aside from this random food battle catalog in level 28. Unless you force yourself to use your other weapons in the game, the combat will get repetitive very quickly. But keep in mind, the game doesn't often urge you to use any other weapon in combat aside from your main celery sword. The only time it seems like you'd want to switch it up is for long range, so you kind of have to make yourself mix it up in combat. I guess the game says the enemies have their weaknesses, but for all the playthroughs I watched, they stayed to their very few weapons in combat during the entire game. There's really nothing specific to note for any of these levels. The last few of them seem to just focus on fighting more than anything else. They look like a grind to kill these giant donuts over and over. By the way, every single level is very short, ranging from 1 minute all the way to 6 minutes. Is this game bad? Yeah, it looks it. Could be worse, I suppose, but it just looks boring and repetitive. With the little bit of footage that's out there, I even found a few glitches. So one thing you might be wondering is what happened to Ian. Well, he appears after level 5, and at first he doesn't really add much to the plot. He's just hanging around with his donut hole buddy. In the hub world, he's in this abandoned house, but you don't figure out what the purpose of this house is until the very end. Ian and his donut hole buddy reappears at the end of level 10, and the donut hole buddy has grown a bit bigger. That's all the important context we get here. I'm sure there's more plot and more development throughout the game. However, I was unfortunately not able to find any information on it, so this is now the point where we have to skip to the final level of the game. The final level takes place under Ian's bedroom. Here we learn that Ian's pink donut hole is the final boss. In one of the videos I found, the person was able to literally just mash the screen until it died, so I am sure the boss was very well thought out. Once he dies, Ian says, "Years of human pastry gene splicing research ruined, and all because of you." He then eats the donut and becomes fat. You now have to fight Fat Ian, which seems to involve more screen mashing. Once defeated, Ian goes, "No!" And then he feels remorse. Anthony calls Ian a dickwad, makes a fat joke, and invites Ian back to Tickput where we get the final cutscene.
Come on, just 900 more pounds to go. Stop sweating.
Good job, boys. How about I make you something to eat?
Donuts? No donuts!
How thrilling. Ian then appears in the mysterious broken down house. He says, "Oh, the whole mutant donut invasion thing. Don't worry, I can make it up to you." And then he offers you new difficulties to play on. And that's the game. So as we saw, Ian is responsible for all of the events in the game. And since this video game is based on their series where they battle and constantly kill each other, I don't think I would want it any other way. So what do you think about the game, or even Smosh for that matter? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Anyway, that's all I got. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all have a fantastic Tuesday.